Hey, welcome. Appreciate y'all being here. It's a Monday, Thursday. You know we're here, the gold standard. At Mr. Brad Thomas, at Eric Lindquist, at shanderbets. Straight's in the house producing. Straight power, ready to go. I know anybody down there, Brad as well, that caught, I guess, a couple pathways of the hurricane. We hope everybody's okay. We hope people had the necessary preparations. Two guys on our show, Eric Lindquist, impacted directly by those fuckers, and it looks like everybody's okay.
Those efforts being Mother Nature. Is she just a fickle beast? Yeah, I mean, obviously it was
Okay,
very,
just
very
because
scary
it's
time.
natural doesn't mean I have to like it, right?
This is very true. This is very true. But no, we're obviously stoked that Straighten and BLT that they're doing well. I can't speak to them. I hope that everything's going great over there. You doing well, my guy?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I think we finally got like the areas like have power again. We like pretty much like had to drive down the street. I forgot what it was like to go on like a four-way stop, right? Because there's no traffic lights. And there's literally cops like in the road, not doing anything but in their car. Like you should be
Right, right.
directing traffic, but no, we're good. We're good. Lucky. So
Okay,
it's
good
good. I
to
don't have to
hear.
do that. I'm not a very good driver already. And so like that just adds more stress to it.
Absolutely, man. I don't know what it is. It'll always be. Well, I don't want to go down that road, but yes, I understand where you're going for sure, and understandably so on multiple levels. But look, the fact that y'all are here, you're good to go. Brad is on full on daddy duty. I've been there. In fact, I'm on daddy duty right now, so I have a sub. But it's so crazy that this is the difference of parenting. All right, Eric Lindquist is Brad is on daddy duty with a child that's not too far apart from my oldest, and full control. He's in a studio. He's got the soccer jersey. The child is being quiet. I'm on daddy duty. I had to call in reinforcements, and I'm now in the car because it's a freaking zoo inside my house. So that tells you the difference of parenting right now. It's probably why Brad's a better than me too, Eric.
Well, it's probably just that the kids take after the folks, and that's kind of what I'm realizing is that you have one child for sure that might be the same level of lunacy that you exist, and then Brad, I got to kick it a little bit before the show. His daughter's just sitting there, super sweet. No,
Amazing.
Dad, I don't want to go down. I don't want to. And Brad, that's the way he treats me, and you just treat me like crap. So I'm glad. I'm glad that this worked out the way that it did.
I'm sure you are. I am 100% sure you are, my friend. All right. How did we do last week straight? Let's fire it up here as far as Thursday's show is concerned, right? I think we had a decent one here.
Ibuka went over. I do know that
He
because
went
I
over.
jammed that against Oregon. I was like, "Where is that? Where's that play? Where's that play?" And I
Yeah.
found it, and I combined it with Dylan Gabriel anytime touchdown, which ended up working out. I thought there were a lot of ways where, I mean, he hasn't had to utilize his legs or skill set, and obviously I'm an
Yeah.
Oregon fan, but like, it was awesome because I felt like the playbook opened for Oregon for the first time all season long. Like
Yeah.
they finally ran stuff that made sense for Dylan Gabriel. Whereas, like, I feel like some of these games where they're 28.5 point favorites, and they are again this week. I think it's like at 28 here now. They're just kind of like biding their time for these big games. It's kind of a very favorable schedule.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You look
Yeah, I was
around
really
real
glad to
quick.
see Ibuka go over. It was funny because I actually ended up unloading on Travion Henderson. I made an official pick. I think I put it free in OddsShopper as well too.
Nice.
But like I unloaded on that bet, and I'm at the bar. I literally forgot to pay attention to Ibuka. I'm just like Travion Henderson cash. I'm like taking shots. I was
But
like,
yeah, he had that one rush. He basically did it all in one play.
at the end of like at the end, like I think it was the end of the game. I was like, wait, I don't even know if Ibuka went over. So I went to go check because I just couldn't remember, especially like all that happened in the game. Like that was one of the best college football weekends that I've ever been a part of.
That was
That's
fun.
amazing, man.
Oh, and betting
Amazing.
wise too, or just in general, like because I mean
I
the
think
game was
overall,
awesome,
right?
but the betting.
Actually, betting wise was probably the most annoying. I hit a lot of bets, but let me tell you, I had some that will make you want to rip your heart out. I lost Jackson Dart over 285 passing yards. He had 284. They went to overtime, and he had 200. He only needed 10 yards in 10 minutes and didn't get it. That one was pretty brutal. I had longest rush for Phil Maffa.
Yep.
He literally gets tackled, and it looked like it was 25 yards. They ruled it 23 yards knee, so I lost that by a yard. But I had like a lot of really good winners that I'm thankful for. So It's just funny. There was a lot of stressful ones.
Couple
I
of
jammed against
stuff that
Utah,
pops out there.
Arizona State. Let's go. Arizona State. Come on.
There
My
you
new
go.
favorite school. My new
I
favorite
bet
school.
them when
I
Cam
thought it was
Rising
Iowa State. We're over the
No, I
7.5.
went to Iowa State. I said my new favorite school,
Oh,
Arizona.
okay.
Sun
Okay.
Devil season. The
Coup-
Scatabo, baby.
All right, let's move on. You see a couple of those that pop out to the Kareem Hunt anytime TD, Kelsey 6+. You hit 1 of 2 on the home run round robins. Did Juwan Johnson hit
Yeah.
real quick? Yes or no? Did that
I
go?
think he did. I think he
Okay,
did.
all right.
Seattle
like
did not. That
No,
went the
I didn't
exact
want to bring up
opposite of
Seattle.
my idea.
He had
Seattle was
28, I
the
believe.
bloodbath. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here today. All right. And again, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed here to the GoldBoys YouTube channel, following along at OddsShopper, of course, on Twitter. Brad, you're first up, my friend.
Yeah, I'm first up. And I'm going with, listen, I normally don't take lines that get steamed up, right? But I could not control the movement on this line. It didn't get steamed up past my threshold. So what I did, I actually played it a little higher than it is, so I'm paying less juice. Because typically the line's -114. It's Breece Hall, 60+ rushing yards. I played at -106 versus the 58.5 at -114. This number's it's gone by like 5 yards, which is okay when I'm factoring in the added or the reduction of the VIG there. Hackett's gone. New OC made it a point that said, we're going to get the ball into his hands against a Bills defense that is 26th in the country.
Yes.
But
no, I'm just agreeing. You're preaching. I'm just saying you have yes.
There's no reason why your most impactful player is only touching the ball 10 times in a game. Against a Bills team who's 26th in run defense as well. So I liked Breece Hall. I'll be pretty honest. I took Breece Hall a couple different ways too. I also took him at 40+ with Josh Allen 20+ rush yards, which came out to a nice number as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think either one of us are going to have any issue here. We got a little thing on the Lindy Shander chat, which is like VIP. I don't even know if we're offering a deal for that one out there. But yeah, Breece Hall is heavily involved there. You hit the nail on the head, the matchup. Again, I mean, both of us have to be on that, even still. And you mentioned the threshold.
Hackett gone is a good thing. That's what it comes down to. The Lord Savior save us. Getting rid of Nathaniel Hackett. I know that it's Aaron Rodgers' buddy, but also you need somebody who can competently call plays, and that was not occurring.
All right, we've got a couple of MLB boosts across the board here today, and there's no way, just like Brad with soccer, there's no way that Eric Lindquist is going to let playoff baseball get out of his hands. No way.
Not, especially when you're getting +152 on the Dodgers run line based on what we've seen from their bullpen outings. I mean, we're pushing 45 innings now of scoreless baseball. I mean, that's where it would be sitting at. I mean, this is just getting stupid beyond. Sorry. No, I just did the math there terribly. It's almost like 30 innings of scoreless baseball going back to game 3, middle of that, because then there was no runs for 7 innings. And then the last 18, so that's 26, then 9, that's 35. So yeah, it's been 35+ innings since they gave up a run period between starters and the bullpen. Now, this is going to be an all hands on deck bullpen situation. This game also, it's a weird start time. I guess it's a holiday for people who don't work in sports. That's weird to me. But 48 minutes from now, we're going to be firing up baseball. And so you want to jump in on this now, but +152 on FanDuel. I mean, this is only 1 cent better than Penny Chart Book, but like everything else is sitting at +140, +135. I think that that's kind of a nice sign right off the bat. And then the second part of this is that I don't think the Dodgers are going to slow down with the bats anytime soon against Sean Manaea. He's had some decent spots throughout this postseason, but I mean, the guy is not who you want to necessarily have on the bump. He's a fly ball pitcher. It's an afternoon in Los Angeles. He's got a 7.5% barrel percentage, which is decent, but with some of the back half of these guys, like Tommy Edman against lefties has been a thing. Kike against lefties has been a thing. Andy Pages, he's going to be getting a turn. He's a noted a lefty killer back in AAA, but has had his moments with a 433 expected slugging over the course of the big leagues here this season. I don't really get this number on the run line, considering what we've seen from this bullpen. It just continues to show out. And one of the nice things come this time of season is that, like, for these bullpen situations, you get to just utilize everybody and know that you have a day in between. You're going to get a travel day. And as such, you can do whatever you want if you're the Dodgers, and they just have the much better bullpen than the New York Mets. They're playing at home. It's a favorable ballpark for righties and lefties alike.
Yep.
But I mean, my God, give me the Dodgers on the run line at this sort of a price.
Man, I love it. It is now plus 194, I believe, because you mentioned FanDuel. FanDuel is going to have that 30% boost. Whatever you're capped at is fine.
Yep.
That's
That's what
no
you
big
want.
deal there. But I mean, I just posted this here plus 190. Pardon me. So
There you go.
Dodgers run line plus 190 against this Mets team. Absolutely freaking love it. I'll be short here across the board. I think mine are pretty, straightforward. I'm not going to mess around too much, but look at the Yankees, 4 of 6, 2 of 3 this year at home against Cleveland, and Rodon, who I think is in a spot, right? If you just look at regression kind of to the mean, and also didn't face him, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is his first time this year against Cleveland, and I think that buys a little time here with the bats. So I don't anticipate to be a high scoring game unless it's broken open by New York. But I'm going to lay the 1 run at minus 118 here and take the Yankees to essentially win this with a push and play.
All
Very
right,
here for it.
baseball time. Heck yeah, playoff baseball's sick. I'm going straight to college football. There were 2 lines that I liked before even, doing a ton of digging, but then the numbers kind of reinforce it there. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and take LSU. And I'm going to take them on the money line. I do think that this is once it grows, if you like Arkansas, it'll grow LSU, and there's a possible letdown spot here. But the way that this LSU team is constructed offensively, it really kind of helps that they got confidence after being down, tying it up against Ole Miss. I think that's actually something you could build on, right? Garrett Nussmeier throwing the ball with effectiveness, and they're sticking to their plan, right? They are 9th in the country in rush rate over expected, which means there's only 8 other teams in the country who throw the ball more than them. But this is what really makes it important. You want to know how teams do on first and second down, right? That's what establishes the game. This is more important for teams that throw the ball a ton. If you're vice versa, if you run it a lot, not those middle of the road teams, but the extremes. If you're not having success on first and second downs, if you're a run first team, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your non-throwing quarterback. If you're a throwing first team, it's going to put a lot of pressure on these long pass plays, right? They're 8th in the country in early downs EPA. But then this makes it even more beautiful. 13th in the country and 4th and 3rd downs success, which is really good against a team who struggles early downs, and they're not a very good throwing team. They're 71st in rush rate expected. So that's the 2 extremes that I'm talking about there, where you have a team that is really good on first and second down, and then you have a team that is really bad on first and second downs. I do understand the line makes sense, right? It's probably get to 4.5. It's 3.5 right now. I'm just taking the money line. It's minus 130, minus 135. It's LSU.
Love that, brother, especially after what we just saw. Any pushback? None for me. That's a tail. Minus 135 on the road at Arkansas. I'll definitely dabble in on that one.
My life is better when I don't ask questions and I just tail Brad. That's the beauty of tails. That's
No,
that's
that's a
how
sweet
things work.
spot,
Is
man.
making sure. Yeah, no, I like it because Brad likes it. That's kind of what I've learned as far as my college football capping. I just follow Brad into the abyss. Nice to hit on the Ohio State receiver last week. We're gonna run it here, Egbuka. Yeah, thank you to that guy.
Okay.
But mine's super quick for this one too. Tyler Bass, over 6.5 kicking points, more than 6.5 kicking points. This is kind of DraftKings pick 6 specific at this point in time. So I don't know how many people out there in the pick'em streets, but pick 6 is now available in a lot of legal sports states as is right now. So they have not only sportsbook options, but then you have some of these other options. And if you're in pick'em specific sites, this is now 7 pretty much everywhere. And I don't hate trying to attack a middle where you're hopefully pushing on the 7. It's that same idea I was talking about with the 2.5 and the 3 last week with the Seattle spot. Obviously, it went the other way on me, and then San Francisco just skull-effed them, so that was not enjoyable. But I look at Tyler Bass here. He's gone over this in 4 or 5. I don't really bring that up in terms of analysis, but the main reason I'm bringing it up here is he hasn't had more than 2 field goal attempts. And this is a Jets defense that allows right around 42% red zone touchdown efficiency. So we're talking they're the 6th best in football, tied for the 6th best in football. Only 42% of the time in the red zone, teams convert a touchdown. And that's a really nice thing when you're looking at kicking points specifically. It shouldn't be 6.5 at pick 6. This should be 7.5, and then make you choose if you want more or less than that. I know it's windy. I know it's difficult, but this is now north of -135 everywhere. So DK pick 6, Tyler Bass over 6.5 kicking points. Wanted to throw something in different for the people.
Oh, look at that, man.
No,
Making
no
people
pushback
money
for me. I
across
like that. I was going to
multiple
be on Tyler Bass over 1.5 made field goals.
Like it.
And it literally got destroyed -110 to -145 by the time I could lock in. Literally, it's automatic. You take the opposing field goal kicker against the Jets. Jets actually have a pretty high, and without repeating what you said, pretty high red zone appearance for Jets defense, but a low touchdown conversion rate, which is good for field goal kickers.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to play that on the books without having to resort to just eating the worst type
Minus
of post-game
135 at
line.
BetMGM. You could attach it to a number of different things. Obviously, the Brees Hall prop over there. I also do think Braylon Allen, we don't know what to make of this offense here. He's been the more efficient runner between the two. Not that I really care all that much. Brees Hall is the more dynamic playmaker, no doubt about it. I think he'll get more of the work post Nathaniel Hackett out there. But 10.5 receiving yards. I mean, he's been involved here in the backfield, and I'm very curious to see how they handle things, like how Aaron Rodgers, I think we're going to see him push the ball down the field a little bit more today, just to either try to make a point, because Aaron Rodgers is that kind of a dude.
He's definitely that kind of dude. I don't think anybody's worried that.
One thing I do want to see, I'm going to do a last minute weather check in that game. Right now, I've seen 2 different projections. 24-mile-per-hour wind gusts, another one as high as 29. Obviously, weather up there can change, so I just do want to check to see that. I was looking at some metrics.
It's pretty bad where I am, and I'm in this corridor, right?
Yeah,
it goes up that northeast spot because I'm a little north of Philly, and if you just kind of look at that, because we're also talking about the other side of Manhattan, right? So you're actually in Jersey, and it's a little bit different there. I think you're going to see 20 plus is a pretty good number, right? Like if you have 20 plus mile per hour winds, that might impact some stuff.
Yeah, it goes.
It also help you if you got it behind you.
You know, it's across the field is what it's projected for. So crosswind.
Yeah. All right. Before we tell you about what's going on here, GoldBoys, MGM, great way to jump in and get a huge amount of opportunity here, all in one big bang. Let me hit you with Dalton Kincaid, 38.5 receiving yards. We're going to go over. Again, I think you look at the last 2 weeks, you've seen season high and number 2 season high in targets, even in a game in which he only had 2 grabs against Houston. He's still an active part of this offense, and knowing that there's going to be a concerted effort to run and try to establish something, even with Josh Allen moving the football, some wind might limit how much you can go downfield. I think Dalton Kincaid from safety valve to just offense is going to be there, 38.5. It's still a number I want to target based on his volume of targets alone. And I think we can get there 40, probably a decent alt if you wanted to have some fun. But I'm just going to go over 38.5.
I think I don't know if there's anybody who loves betting Dalton Kincaid overs more than you. And you normally cash them when you do. So
We'll see. I get greedy when it's like 2 of 3 in a same game parlay and he didn't score or some stupid shit like that. But you're right. We've had some pretty good success overall with Kincaid. All right. Brad's going to run it back. Final 3 plays. Before that, reminder, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe here to the GoldBoys YouTube channel. Check this out, how you can take full advantage of both a free month at goldboys.com and signing up at BetMGM. GoldBoys.com and sign up at BetMGM just for using code GoldBoys. Sign up at BetMGM, use code GoldBoys, deposit at least $10 and get your first bet back up to $1,500. Once you play through, you'll get an email from BetMGM with your code to use for that free month at GoldBoys.com. Some exclusions may apply. 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, sign up at BetMGM using code GoldBoys. Deposit at least $10. Your first bet's back up to $1,500. You'll get an email from MGM. Use that code for your first free month at GoldBoys.com. The GoldBoys.
Never did I think that I would be betting Iowa State at any point this year as a double-digit favorite, but the time has come for us to be big believers in betting on the Cyclones there. I'm going to take Iowa State over my UCF Knights, and it's bad. It's bad for UCF. First and foremost, right? Like, teams are doing whatever they want, especially through the air. UCF 116th defensive success rate to the pass. Basically, defense is giving up points whenever the opposition has the ball, 91st in net points per drive on defense. And this is an Iowa State team that now has a crazy running game with two really comparable backs. Rocco Beck's playing really good football. Iowa State team, this is one thing that we knew they were going to be good defensively, right? Like, they're 9th in EPA margin on defense. They're 20th in the country on offense, which is something that I personally did not expect. It's trouble times for UCF. I thought it was going to be one day Gus Malzahn would have a statue out front of the stadium. He might be gone by the end of the season, and it's tough, right? Like, they benched KJ Jefferson because they got KJ Jefferson, didn't know how to use him. Bring in Ja'Cory Brown, and he's still wet behind the ears, right? They let Brandon Sorsby last week for Cincinnati carve them up. Now they're playing a much more difficult team and on the road. It's just going to be a tough game for UCF. I think they lose by 20 plus. If I lose this cover, it's something I can live with because I think this is just a good time to kind of pile on a team that's already down. Like, this could be one of those something's got to change games, just like what happened with Purdue when they lost by almost 50, then they had to change their offensive coordinator.
Works for me. Even if I disagreed, I'm in a time crunch, Brad, where you've got me by the balls, so I've got no choice. But I'm also, as I mentioned this to Lindy, I'm over 7.5 wins for Iowa State, pretty invested. Nice. So I need this.
As a former Division I athlete from the great Iowa State University and president of Student Athlete Advisory Committee, I must say, I could not be more fond of that play in a million years. Well done. Probably my favorite play you've ever thrown out here on this program. Yes, program. We're going to fire it up. But let's go to baseball because, again, I don't cover college football. I just cheer for my Iowa State Cyclones, and I've adopted Oregon in this family that I married into. But I'm also going to absolutely obsess and fawn over John Kenzie Noel. He is going to go yard today against Carlos Rodon, who's given up 3 home runs in his last 2 outings here. They ended up limiting him to just 72 pitches. This is going to be a quick hook situation. You want to talk about wind. It is blowing 15 miles per hour out to right field, which obviously, Eric, John Kenzie Noel, he's a right-handed hitter. What are you doing here? Well, home runs are the thing that I'm the absolute best at in betting. And the main reason is that I'm able to kind of like find ways to extend a sample size for a specific guy. We only have 63 plate appearances here for John Kenzie Noel, but I simmed it out. And he might be one of the best right-handed power hitters in all of baseball that nobody knows the name of. 376 expected ISO, 421 actual ISO. Now, those numbers are absolutely asinine, but I muted those down to like the 220, 230 type range. And then I simmed out this baseball game with 20-mile-an-hour winds in Yankee Stadium. And it has him hitting a home run against Carlos Rodon in 2 plate appearances. Because I think he's going to get pinch hit for more than likely. In 2 plate appearances that he has against Rodon, I've got him with nearly a 550 expected ISO in this spot in these conditions. So I'm telling you, the weather is as good as it gets for John Kenzie, who likes to go Oppo Taco, did it a lot in AAA based on some of the things that I'm looking at, as well as he just has ridiculous expected numbers in a very, very small sample size. So I don't look at anything like his hard hit rate, sub 37%, because he's somebody that was swinging and missing a lot. He's going to be batting sixth today, more than likely. He is absolutely going yard in Yankee Stadium.
So let's go. Let's roll. I think you're right with a win, too. 550, is that on FanDuel? Where was that?
550 is on BetMGM.
BetMGM. There you go. My goodness, man. What a price tag that quarter unit, third unit, come back on Thursday at 3:00 Eastern.
Might also
Bet-
want to bet his walk just to throw it out there because
Okay.
there's a very good chance, and this is something I've started to do more in the postseason, kind of on my own, but like coupling like a 0.1, 0.2 unit walk play along with it, because you get John Kenzie Noel, who was one of the best power hitters in AAA for the last 2 years. You get him out there today. Carlos Rodon knows that he can't throw anything over the plate. Like it's going to get a little bit sideways.
Love it, man. All right. I'm going to end it real quick. I got a jet, but that's fine. We already told you where we'll be at Mr. Brad Thomas, at Eric Lindquist, at shanderbets. GoldBoys.com. Thumbs up, subscribe. As always, follow along at OddsShopper on Twitter. New head coach. In this case, I think we get a bonus, right? Normally, I want to target, we did it earlier with Andy Dalton. I want to target a team that's either moved on. Now, granted, there are some, there's some, what would you call exceptions to the rule, right? This is not hard and fast, or it's hard, right, where you can adjust to it. I'm not going to just pile on Spencer Rattler or Drake May because there's some system there. You have to use discernment. But for the most part, Joe Flacco, right? For the most part, you see a backup quarterback or you see a new head coach in the next game. In this case, I think we get a bonus because anybody upset that Robert Saleh got fired has now been evened out with the removal and stripping of Nathaniel Hackett with the offensive play calling responsibility. So it's kind of like, all right, you're pissed off about one thing. Well, you got your wish with the other, no matter where. Even Aaron Rodgers, that miserable crumb, has to be happy with at least one of these results. I think the Jets just play better. And I don't think the Bills are that good enough, at least, to come in, deal with the elements, at least this team on the road. It's a divisional game. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and the Bills actually are like what the Bengals did, barely but good enough to beat a bad team on the road. I don't think they are. I'll take the Jets in this particular game with these circumstances to win at plus 120.
Yeah, I don't think they're good. I don't think the Bills are good. The best thing they can do probably is run the ball. Their starting running back's banged up. Quarterback is doesn't have weapons to throw to. It's a tough game.
Love it. Anything you guys want to get out on the way out?
Nope. Follow me on X at Mr. Brad Thomas. Make sure you check out the Thursday episode of Bet the Edge on Spotify.
I got nothing. Follow Brad. That's what I want. I want
That's
Brad.
all we need.
Also, that is
GoldBoys.com and Brad.
Oh.
That's why we're here. Thanks, Straight.
See you guys.